Hello everybody, my name is Luke Marr and this is HauteLeMode, and today on HauteLeMode we are looking at some of the 2024 Olympic uniforms. Now if you have not seen, Team Mongolia has just wiped the floor pretty much with everybody else in terms of their uniforms this year for this Summer Olympics, and it's gone viral. Everybody wants to talk about it and everybody now wants me to talk about it. So for the first time ever, we're doing our HauteLeMode Olympic review fashion roast of as many of the teams throughout the world that we can do. If your team is not there, your country's team, I apologize. I promise that I have tried to find as many of them as I can. Social media managers, please post better pictures of all of the uniforms, because in 2026, I'd like an easier time trying to find the pictures, nice pictures, full-length pictures, full uniform pictures of everybody so I can review all of you, okay? So it's not my fault. It is the people that are not providing the proper imagery to us in order to review. I do apologize. We'll work on it, hopefully, in 2 to 4 years. But without further ado, let's get into it. So first up, we're starting off with Australia. Now, Australia's is pretty interesting. Now, I know that it's made by the brand Sportscraft, which is an Australian brand, and that's what a lot of these brands are. If we mention brands that make the looks, they're not all Australian, but they are from the country of origin and the team's country, for the most part. The Australia Sportscraft look is a beautiful, I like this blazer color, I think it's really lovely, with gold embroidery on the patch, the Olympic 2024. And some of the uniforms have these shorts with little upturned hems, and then the other has this sort of ombre of white, yellow, and again, this, I don't know exactly, it's not like a turquoise, it's more of like a teal kind of color, moving throughout this pleated skirt. I think it's nice. To me, I've never been to Australia, but I assume this is what an Australian formal wear can look like. The thing that I find really, really interesting is the skirt, the pleated skirt, actually is based on the fact that the Sportscraft brand has been doing pleated skirts, and it was the first company to bring pleated skirts and a pleating machine specifically to Australia. So interesting tidbit, and any tidbits I have, I will try my best to bring them in. The other thing that's kind of intriguing is the lining of the jackets. They have, I believe, all of the different winners of, I guess, medals from Australia and the names of them and what year and what country they were in or what city they were in, which I think is a cool little tidbit, and it's something that I think adds a little bit of extra essence to the whole look. I'm going to rate all of these looks as we go. I'm going to give this a silver. Not completely sold on it aesthetics-wise. It's really the skirt that kind of throws me off a little bit, but I do like a lot of the historical elements, so I don't hate it. And again, I just want to say, if I don't understand a certain cultural something, I don't mean to be offensive, I promise. It's really not my intention. I know that the Olympics is about having fun and, you know, being cool and everybody getting together and being united, so like I want that as well, but also, you know, some things we don't love. Next up, we have Team Austria. Now, these are really, really interesting uniforms, I have to say, because I feel like they do take on a little bit of a traditional aesthetic. Something about these sleeveless sort of waistcoat, tunic things are cool. I assume maybe they have something to do with like the traditional dress of Austria and like the mountains and stuff like that. I don't know 100%, but from that perspective, really cool. I like it. From like a modern perspective, am I like completely sold on it? No, but like it's okay. As for the bottoms, there's either a short or there is a sort of dirndly kind of skirt. I appreciate where we're coming from. I appreciate the effort. To me, don't necessarily love it, but I like what we were trying to do, and I like the fact that, again, there's a sort of traditional cultural dress attempted to be modernized. And I think that, for the most part, with a lot of these uniforms, is really what I think is cool and fun and what I think we kind of want. I think that builds the unity. I think that builds this idea of like learning about other cultures in beautiful competition and jest with the games. I do like the sneakers, actually. So I'm gonna give this like a silver. Again, cultural, cool, I like it. Aesthetics, maybe not for me. Next up, we have Team Brazil. Now, these are the opening ceremony uniforms. It's a denim jacket, a yellow and white striped shirt, and a sort of sweat skirt. That's what I'm going to call that, a sweat skirt. On the back of the jacket, there is embroidery, and it does say Brazil on it, and then there is, I believe, like a jaguar, maybe a leopard, I don't know, I feel like a jaguar, and 2 different kinds of foliages. Now, I know that the embroidery on the actual jackets were done by artisans in a certain part and region of Brazil. So like, shout out to them, very cool. I guess my thing is, it feels to me like it's a lot of different aesthetics mashed together. And if it didn't say Brazil on it and have the embroidery on the jacket, we all would be not very happy and saying, So that's my big issue here is I like the colors and all of that. The blue, I like the stripes. I don't love the skirt. It didn't get on the podium. It's not placing to me. Now, as for the podium looks, the actual looks that they would wear on the podium, I think these are cooler. The colors make sense. I do think the stripes are really interesting in terms of the jacket. It may not be what I would wear, but I do think that it's an interesting way of sort of shaping the body through a motif or a pattern. The yellow pants, again, yellow and blue don't always go together super well, but like the Brazilians are doing their best to pull it off and I respect that. Again, I'm gonna go with bronze here, not completely sold. Next up we have Team Bulgaria. So we have kind of a range of looks here. We have a white polo with red pants, a white polo with red shorts, we have a white polo with green shorts, and then a red t-shirt with some sort of short, I believe, as well, but I can't really see. I assume it's a short. A little blah, a little boring, not super fun or funky or really super telling. I'm sure that obviously the Bulgarian colors, lines up, makes sense. Vanilla. Next up we have Team Canada, and Lululemon is the brand that designed these. I do feel like the motif running throughout it obviously has some reference to like Canadian florals and things like that. I think that's cool. Again, I don't know exactly what the florals are. A lot of these teams that do these looks, they don't really explain like the cultural impact, and that's very annoying to me because I feel like it helps people get into it and kind of understand the looks a little bit more. So I'm sure that it has some sort of importance to the Canadian people, and I do think the use of red and white, very Canadian. I think of Mounties every single time. I think it's okay. I'll give this like a bronze. Now, as for these other looks we have, I do kind of prefer that full red jacket situation going on. I don't know how that's gonna fare in Paris with no air conditioning, but hey, to each their own. The full red, it's okay. As for the other tracksuit, I like this one a little bit more because I can see that there are maple leaves sort of blended throughout this very interesting pattern style. Again, not really too crazy. I'm not obsessed with it. I'll give them both like a bronze. Next we have Team China. Obviously red and white, go-to colors for the Chinese. Makes a lot of sense. I love this skirt, suit, or dress and blazer look. I think it's very chic. I love the collar. I love it. I like the slit with the chiffon red pleated section or gathered section that comes down. I feel like it really sort of helps to add a little bit of lightness in there. And then I think that one little knot blazer notch is really cute. I think this is a good way to do it. Make it feel fun and traditional and a little bit of history going on. The blazer makes it a little bit more, Olympic opening ceremony, but I do think that the dress underneath, probably something that you could actually live your life in. As for the men's look, again, love the subtle detail in the collar, very cool, very into it. I like the blazer. I feel like it gives it that sort of dressed up, very walking in this big oval stadium kind of vibe. The pants, they look fine to me. Overall, I like Team China's. I think it's a perfect example of like how to modernize your cultural dress and make it feel youthful and fun and fresh and something that is sexy and hot. Next up we have Team Chinese Taipei. The opening ceremony uniforms are these double-breasted suits in this blue that do sort of have a lightening and a darkening sort of pattern that runs throughout them for the most part. I also find it interesting that like certain countries are very, this is a skirt, this is a suit, we're gonna differentiate the genders. But then there are certain countries where in reality it's very androgynous, like both groups can wear these styles and is what it is. I'm not like, ooh, yay. Different countries have different ideas of what works for them, to each their own. I'm gonna let their own people get into how they feel about that. But I just don't really love the shoes. I think that's my one big issue. I just don't love a black shoe with like a blue, unless it's like a navy blue. I just feel like there needs to be something, maybe a white shoe, maybe yellow, something to switch that up. As for the other uniforms, more of like the podium and performance uniforms, very simple, a collar, a polo shirt, long sleeve, short sleeve, a tracksuit, blue and white, and then the rest of the looks, t-shirts, sort of athletic shirts, totally fine. In reality, I like the suits, actually. I think that the colors work really, really well. I like the different shades of them as well. I think it adds a little bit of an intriguing element. It's okay, I'm fine. I'm gonna give this silver. Next up we have Team Team Colombia. Now, again, I couldn't find like really good images of this except for like a TikTok, and so I'm screenshotting TikToks. I promise. I tried to find good imagery, but I don't think that these are the opening ceremony outfits. I believe these are probably more of like tracksuit or like podium kind of wear. But I like these long windbreaker styles, and I do think that the motif is really interesting. I don't really know what they mean. I don't really know exactly if they have any sort of cultural or historical significance, but I do like the navy blue with the sort of lighter blue swirls going through, and then the bottom section of them do have like yellow and red and a even lighter or more vibrant blue coming through and sort of creating emphasis on those motifs. But I like the fact that we let the top do a little bit more subtleness, let it frame the face, let the yellow sort of portions of the brand name and the Olympic team with the rings on it really do the work there, and matching luggage I find intriguing. So I'll give these a silver. I wanted to give it bronze, but I'll give them a silver. Next up, we have the Czech Republic, and I believe that these are the opening ceremony uniforms. I don't know, they're kind of crazy. They look to me more like fashion brand than they do traditional Olympic opening ceremony uniforms, but like I think I like that. I will say, these like dotted polos in the white that ombres into red, that ombres into this navy blue, so chic, obsessed. I would like one. I just think they look nice, and I like the design, and it's a fun way to take on a country's colors without it being like red, white, blue. We'll talk about that when we get to America. I think that this is actually a very cool design. I like it. The pants are okay, you know, maybe with a different shoe. I know it's a sneaker, but like a baggy pant with a sneaker, it doesn't always work. Sometimes it can work. It depends on the sneaker, but I don't think that with these sneaks they work. As for these like bathrobe-y kind of trench coat jackets that are almost like tie-dyed, I like the effort. I really do. I think they're cool. I think they're interesting. I think they're different. Would I wear it? No. But again, I do think that it's something out there and it's memorable to me. And again, it feels like a fashion brand in like 2016 would have put this down the runway. So like, I'm gonna give this a gold. Not because I love every single thing about it, but I do love the fact that it's so different and so modern and chic. And there's a lot of portions of these ensembles that you could wear in your everyday life. Next up, we have Team Estonia, and they went full denim ensemble. They said, Team Canada, the Canadian tuxedo will be ours for this time being. So we can see that there is a denim sort of like workwear jacket or like tunic jacket paired with a pair of not skinny jeans, but like slim jeans. Then there's two different kinds of t-shirts, one with the Estonian flag kind of colors and the other one with an arrow made out of the same colors. And then both are paired with denim knee-length skirts. I'm just gonna be completely honest, don't love the knee-length skirt in denim. I just think it's really hard to pull off. I think that the full denim ensemble is kind of cool, kind of different, not really what I was expecting from Estonia, but maybe that's a me problem. What I do think would have been really interesting is a stonewash denim, Estonia wash denim. Would have been cool to me. I think it would have added a little bit of intrigue and interest. Maybe that's not what they want to necessarily go for. Maybe that's too casual, but again, it's denim, so like it's already kind of casual. The denim skirts, not a fan, but like to each their own, but I'm going to give this like a not play. Next up, we have Team France, who is wearing Berluti, which is owned by LVMH. I'm going to be completely honest. I was expecting the French girls to turn it out much more. I mean, like we're going to the city of fashion. Fashion is a French export. Historically, it's the #1 French export, and the girls look like flight attendants, not just the women. I mean, everybody looks like a flight attendant. I don't like that. It feels very Delta uniform. It feels very British Airways to me. I would not expect that from the French. I would expect the French girlies to be turning it out. Maybe they thought because we have the home court advantage, we don't need to give it to the girls, but like, you did, because right now you're giving... Can I get you pretzels? What would you like to drink? Would you like ice with that? The thing is, I do really like the shawl lapels. I think those are cool. I like the use of like the maroon and the blue. Really don't love the sleeveless jackets. I think they're really weird. And something also about like the unbuttoned collars feels strange to me. The skirt length is weird. I really don't love the shoes with the skirt length. That one really says flight attendant. The other ones also do say very much so flight attendant, down to like the sneakers with like a full suit. Because that's the one thing the French people have not mastered. Hot take, don't really care. And I'll say this about the Parisians as well. They have yet to really understand how to wear sneakers in like a chic way. I don't love the flight attendants, definitely not placing, I would say. Didn't even make the preliminaries. As for the actual like uniforms for the podiums and performance, I think these are better. It's a little bit blue, white, red, you know, French, vive the France. Do you hear the people sing? But like, that's okay. I don't really mind that. I think that makes sense a lot of the time for the performance looks. It's really about like what the fabric is, the way that it's cut. So that's okay. I like the ombre of the colors. It reminds me of a firecracker ice pop. I'm cool with that. The gymnastic uniform is kind of crazy. I like the bedazzling and the feathers and things. I like the tracksuits. I like the sort of crop tops. I like the t-shirts. I like the full white tracksuits too. It's all good to me. Overall, I'm gonna give Team France a bronze, I guess. Next up, we have Team Germany. Now, the Deutsch are doing a yellow and black ensemble. We can see that there's this multiple stripe motif going on in these track jackets, and then that same thing goes on throughout the shirts as well when they're yellow. It's okay. I don't know. I'm not really obsessed with it. I feel like it could be a little bit more interesting, a little bit more intriguing. These aren't the opening ceremony uniforms, I don't believe. I think as far as performance and podium looks, like, this is fine. Bronze. It's okay. Next up, we have Team Great Britain. I loathe entirely. And I know people are going to say, well, what is that American? No. Well, I got a British passport, so. These looks are designed by Ben Sherman. I despise the jacket. It's just very varsity jacket 2013. The shirt, I don't love. The pants are awful, man. Like, that color is strange, but like the fact that they rolled up the hem of the pants and then like the sock is on display and it's like a slip-on slipper loafer dress shoe is like, it's a lot. And I don't love the socks either. Like, nobody wants to see the socks. I'm okay. I'm seeing enough of that motif from the shirt. All not good. Do not like, hate. As for the closing ceremony looks, I'm, again, very lost on, like, what about British culture says Hawaiian Cuban shirt? I don't get it. And the flowers. Like, maybe, you know, there's an English rose in there or something, but it just feels so tropical. And, like, I'm gonna be honest, I have family from the south of England. I understand the Gulf Stream. It doesn't ever really read as wear a button down like that and call it a day and say, oh, look at all the flowers, so gorgeous, so stunning, absolutely lovely, I like my life, oh. I would like a proper British ensemble. Please and thank you. Really appreciate it. I don't need British people going on vacation in Hawaii. Next up, we have Team Greece. Very simple, very casual. We can see, I believe, an opening ceremony look, a white blazer, blue shirt, I think it's like a polo. The pants, I don't know, those pants don't fit him well. They're a little too baggy for me. And the sneakers, I don't know, he looks like a doctor. There's something about the whole thing, feels very Scrub-esque to me. Fine, I guess, but I'm not sold, and I want better for the Grecs. So I will also say that the rest of the outfits are fine. Like, I think the track jacket's cool. The other look 100% says nurse that I know who lives in Long Island. I get it. You could perform in that, I'm sure. But again, reads very hospital to me. The shirt, shorts, fine. Shirt, shorts. I like that light blue situation. And then the other one, again, you could go to any store, pick that right up. Kind of expecting a little bit more exciting from the Greeks. It's bronze, I guess. Next up, we have Team Guatemala. I'm going to be completely honest. They're a little interesting to me. But I do really like, again, that there's like a cultural element built in. It might not exactly, in my opinion, be modernized so well, but I do think that there's like a heritage and traditional kind of dress situation going on. I love the hats. I think they're really cool. I even love the fact that underneath the brim, there's some sort of motif. Really interesting. On the women's look, that little dress is like fine, whatever. The vest with like the shoulder pads, again, not really like my aesthetic whatsoever, but I am sure that there is a reason for that. And I do like the fact that we're bringing that in, even if I don't love the look of it per se. I can see the wanting to exude Guatemalan culture, and that I appreciate. As for the other look, the shirt with the bands of sort of different motifs and woven pieces, I think that's cool too. Again, I like the belt. I like the fact that we're bringing in those little elements of like Guatemalan textile history. I think that's nice. I think it's intriguing. I think that's what I personally would like to see from a country's look. I'm gonna give this a silver. Because in reality, while it might not be my aesthetic love, I do really love that they said, I don't really care what you think, sir. We're gonna do our thing and we're gonna put our culture on display, and that's that. Team Haiti, I love it. Now these are designed by Stella Jean. I don't know if you guys know who Stella Jean is, but Stella Jean is a fashion designer. She shows at Milan Fashion Week every season. She's really cool. I love her work. It's very print heavy. I love the women's look. I love the sleeveless jacket because I love the fact that you have this band that wraps around the waist. I think it's really, really lovely. I think it's really intriguing. It feels very sort of 1950s new look. I know people probably won't like that element of it, but I'm sure that if you wanted to, you can wear the pants and the jacket and all that stuff. I just think it's very chic and it feels very Stella Jean to me. I love like the piping of the blue around, you know, the waistcoat. I love the boots. I love the shape of the skirt. Like, it's just very fashion. I do understand that this probably feels a little bit more gender coded, and so I don't really know that much about Haiti in terms of like their gender coding and what that means, but from like a fashion perspective, love it. Really cool, really interesting, really memorable. As for the other look, I like the jacket. I do. The shirt, I don't really know because it's like part stripe, a scarf, or like a bandana wrapped around his neck. That's what it is. And then the pants, again, like I get it. Very Stella Jean, very print heavy. I'm sure that there is maybe some reference to like Haitian culture, textiles, art, things like that going on there. I think it's interesting. I do prefer the women's look and I really love those boots. They're really good boots. I'm gonna give this a gold, because I really love the women's look. Very fashion. Next up, we have Team India. I love it. I really, really do. Now, we can see that part of the looks are inspired by, or they are saris. I love like the orange and the white and the green. It brings in the colors of the Indian flag, obviously, but I really, 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 really love the way that they've done it. I do think that this sort of print that's going on, I can't really see it super up close, but I do think that it's really sweet. I love the fact that we're actually like blending and using the green as a piping on the sari and then the orange underneath sort of is this base layer. You can see that there are bands of those colors and motifs as well at the bottom. I think this is a really good way, again, of bringing in traditional dress and also making it feel interesting, making it feel young. I do really like it, and I think that green and orange are really hard colors for me personally, you know, it's just from like an American perspective to like be super chic because it feels either very Halloween or very St. Patrick's Day. So I think they've done a great job of not making it feel like that to me. So I love the men's jackets. I think they're really lovely. I like the gold band at the bottom of that tunic sort of style. I like this three-piece suit situation going on. I just think they've done a good job. I'm into it. Next up, we have Team Ireland, who is wearing the brand LWPearl. I'm not completely sold on the Team Ireland situation here. From the front, we can see that it's a double-breasted blazer. I don't really love the shape of it from the front. And from the back, we can see that it's like part blazer, part like tracksuit jacket. It has that extra flap at the back. I don't really love that. I do think whatever the piece on the sleeve is could be really interesting, but I think it's too big, and it also looks like it isn't like stuck actually down or sewn down well on the jacket, and I don't really think that that helps anything. The capri pants, I also don't know if I like those either, so I don't know. I'm not really sold there. It feels a little random to me, and I don't love the hat. That's just a personal issue, really, more so. It's like the green bucket hat. I'm from New York. I just think of St. Patrick's Day, and that's not Ireland's fault. It's mine. There's parts of it that are intriguing and interesting. I just think like the silhouette is rough to me, so I'm not letting Team Ireland place this year, unfortunately. I'm sorry. Next up, we have Team Italy, Team Italia. They are wearing EA7, which I believe is designed by Emporio Armani. Feels like merch you would get in Rome. If, you know, I was drunk during Fashion Week at a tourist shop, would I buy that tracksuit hoodie? Sure. Would I wear it going on my hot girl walks? Sure. Do I think that that's like the hot thing to wear at the Olympics? No, I don't. I don't know what the opening ceremony looks will be. I don't know if these exactly are them or are these more of like the podium looks. But yeah, I'm interested to see. I feel like Armani will be a little bit chicer actually in terms of like opening ceremony. Will be good suiting and things like that. That makes sense. This, meh. I guess I'll give this like a bronze because like I would not wear it. Next up, we have Team Jamaica. I couldn't find opening ceremony uniforms. I could only find like performance ones. I really like these sort of bodysuit styles with the cutouts and the yellow with the green and black stripes. I think those are cool, interesting. I like the fact that you have that continuation of it in different sort of tops, both for men and for women. And also, I like the shorts. I like the black sort of cycling shorts. I think they work, and the yellow sort of bands help again to sort of create shape there, even though I feel like a lot of those Olympians don't need shape to be created. They got the defining muscles, they're fine. But I think these are cool. I'll give these like a silver. Next up we have Team Japan. I believe that these are like their podium looks. They're fine. I'm gonna like give it a bronze, I guess. I don't hate them. I don't really love them. I feel like they could be a little bit more interesting, but again, I don't think these are opening ceremony styles, like I can't really judge 100%. So I guess bronze. Benefit of the doubt. Next up we have Team Kazakhstan. I really quite like these. I think the blue and the white really works, very easy, very understandable, and I like the cuts of a lot of the women's jackets. They're longer a little bit in the front. I think that it actually helps to really sort of emphasize that skirt shape. I also think that the embroidery on these little panels or pockets are also quite sweet and lovely, and the use of the white piping from the lapels to, you know, the sleeves to panels or pockets are cool. And I like the fact that on, it seems, both the men's and women's trousers, you have strips of that matching embroidery that runs down the side. I think that helps to sort of bring that motif in throughout. I don't really know what the motif signifies or if it signifies anything. It's just decorative. But either way, I think that it looks quite nice, and I like to see it used throughout both elements. As for the men's looks, I think I actually kind of like it. I don't really mind the short sleeve blazer style. I think that there's something about that that sort of gives it a little bit more casual feeling, but still it's pretty dressed up. Everybody's wearing a tie. It still feels somewhat opening ceremony-esque, but also, again, it's gonna be hot, it's gonna be warm. I respect it. I think that this actually really works, feels cool, feels pretty status quo, but definitely when you look at the details is pretty different. So I'm gonna give this a silver. Next up we have Team Malaysia. Not super obsessed. Again, couldn't really find like a whole lot of pictures, but I do think that the stripe polo and shirt styles are interesting enough. I don't really love how they tuck that polo into those pants. That guy on the left with the wig. The wigs are, they're a little rough. The mannequins are rough. It's always better to take pictures on, you know, the actual athletes. I think they fill them out better. Again, it's hard to look at them. So yeah, no. Not qualifying. Next up we have Team Mexico. Now, I don't know if these are opening ceremony uniforms, I don't know if these are podium uniforms, but I do know that the looks are made up of black t-shirts that say Mexico on them, and we have a skirt with a little bit of a slit and then a pair of fitted trousers, but they look technical in fabric, so again, all performance-y. But the jackets on top are really meant to be like the big, I guess, intriguing and interesting part. We can see that the colors are white and pink. It seems like the pink is details, the collar, the top of the pocket, little bands across the sleeve. Don't love it. And where there is different sort of symbols, I don't really know what the symbols symbolize. It looks like there's hearts, maybe, possibly. Maybe there's some sort of heritage or traditional motif going on there. I don't really know. But I do know that at the back of the jacket, there is a big winged person that's there. Maybe it's possibly a reference to winged victory of Samothrace, which is like a Greek sculpture from the Hellenistic period, as victory or Nike, I believe. That's the name of the god, being, you know, winged and like an angel of some sort. I think the colors are a little harsh to me. And then whatever's underneath, I'm not like jazzed by. It feels very normal. So I'm going to go with not placing. Now here's where it gets good. Team Mongolia. That is the name on everybody's lips. I love these. From the day that I saw them, I knew the girls are delivering. It's also the reason that I was like, we're going to do this video. Here's the really great thing about the Team Mongolia design. Now, these looks are by the brand Michel and Amazonka, and it's a, I believe, trio of sisters. Two of them are the designers of Michel and Amazonka, and the other one is the CEO of the company. It was founded in like 2015, 2016, I believe. They were tasked with making the uniforms, and so what they wanted to do is they wanted to bring in Mongolian heritage, but there are a lot of different tribes in Mongolia. There was this whole sort of idea of like bringing symbols that piece in from all these different tribes into one sort of look so that everybody feels united and unified. Now, I know some of the really, really interesting things are these sort of 9 lines that sit in the center of the look, or like 9 pillars. I believe that that is meant to represent the Nadam, which is Mongolia's kind of own version of the Olympics, where I assume a lot of the different tribes come together and compete in different sports. So I think that's a cool reference to like your own home games. A lot of the mountain design, obviously Mongolia is very mountainous. The thing that I think is also really cool is it was meant to sort of represent the different athletes' sort of trials and tribulations to getting to the Olympics. But what I'll say is like, my God, god. Not only is the embroidery stunning, like you can see it through the sort of chest pieces, but you can also see it on the neckline. I just love the sort of like semi-puff sleeve and then it gets thin. I love the use of these sort of panels of traditional Mongolian dress that sort of come in and feel very sort of sporty at the same time with the use of the piping, black and the red and the blue, all these lines. The earrings, I love the bags. Like the bags are really cool. I know that the designers were saying that a lot of the female athletes said, we like to have a bag because we can carry our stuff in it. And so that's why they designed these beautifully embroidered bucket kind of bags. And then there's just all these really lovely little symbols and embroideries. I like the idea of the skirts, the pleated skirts, the non-pleated skirts, the pants. Like there's all these cool different options and everybody can wear them. I also love at the back of these white uniforms, you can see these sort of draped little like train pieces. Add the drama. I just know that everybody's going to be gooped and gagged about the Team Mongolia uniforms this year. They're really cool. They're really, really beautiful. Without a doubt, gold. Like they're winning the Olympics in general for me. The most gold that we're going to get. I love them. Next up, we have Team the Netherlands. It's okay. Blue, white, you know, little Netherlands flag on it. Nothing crazy. Denim jacket with shorts and pants. Meh, whatever. It's okay. I do like the breakdancing team's uniforms much more. I like the orange. I know that the Dutch love orange. They have like a whole day about orange. Everybody wears orange. They like paint their whole bodies orange. Like they get into orange. I love the cut of this tracksuit. I love the white piping on it. I just think it looks great. Mixing it all together, I'm gonna give it bronze. Next up, we have Team Nigeria. Now, I believe that the looks are designed by the brand Actively Black. Now, I'm pretty positive that the opening ceremony look here that we can see people working on is beautiful white and green. And we can also see that there are a lot of these really beautiful sort of striped, I assume they're like a block print of some sort going on. I think they're cool. I think they're interesting. I think the colors really, really work. White and green are pretty easy to get into. And again, bringing in like traditional textile and craft and things like that, it is really important to do. It's important to make sure that you're sort of, again, embedding your own culture into the look and it doesn't feel just blah. As for the performance wear styles, I think they're interesting. I like the armband. I think that's fun. The green, again, I like the use of the different sort of motifs and traditional patterns. I think they're cool. And then when you pair them up with just sort of like the simple black, but you have panels that run down the side, again, it's all being built in, and I think that's what you need to do. So like, I'm gonna give this a silver. Next up, we have Team Panama. Pretty simple, nothing really crazy going on here. You have pussy bow blouse in white for the women's with double-breasted blazer and a short. And then for the men's, it's a polo with a blazer and a short. I don't really love the fit of the men's short. It's strange to me. And the hat is like, okay, but again, blah, not placing to me. Next up, we have Team Philippines. Can't really find any of the opening ceremony uniforms, so we'll have to see what goes on. I'm not obsessed, I'll be honest. Like tracksuits, shirts, blue, white, orange. I expect more. I want a little bit extra, a little bit interesting, so not placing. Next up, we have Team Poland. This I like. Here's my big thing. The men's suiting is not like red, white, and blue, or just white with red piping. Like the fact that they did that double-breasted suit and it's like this really, really light pink or like a white that has a pinkish twinge or shade to it is great. I think that's really what we need to do. It makes it not just feel like something that you've seen a million times, and I'm not gonna say, oh, red and white, Team Canada. That's not what I want to do. I'm into it. I think it's really, really cool. I like the cropped style on the other white suit jacket. I think that's really fun. And then I love the floral styles. I like that puff sleeve. It feels very traditional to me. And also the floral motif throughout, I feel like is most definitely a cool reference to, you know, traditional Polish textiles, embroideries, and things like that. I even like the sort of cricket sweater. I don't really know exactly what that has to do. I don't know if the Polish are like super into cricket. Maybe they are. I don't know. Either way, I like the fact that, again, like the pants are this sort of pinkish twinge. It just doesn't feel blah and boring. Let's do more of that. Please and thank you. Have a great day. Next up, we have Team Sierra Leone. And now I can't find opening ceremony looks, but I can find the designs by Adidas and the brand Labrum, which I love. Labrum is a cool fashion label. I like these tracksuits and I like the performance styles. I like the fact that you have these sort of diamonds in black with little white stripes. They're kind of cut off. But again, I think this is a cool way of going about doing the performance looks. Like, I'm not saying that it's crazy out there, whatever, but it does feel a little bit more intriguing than just navy blue tracksuit, navy blue track top, white tracksuit, white track top. It's just a little bit more intriguing, and I really think that a lot of the brands should be if they're going to work with a huge brand, get a designer that is from your country to help sort of make it feel a little bit more interesting and memorable and cool. Not only are you supporting a young brand, but you're also supporting your athletes actually looking interesting. I'm into these. I think they're fun. Next up, we have Team South Africa. Now, this photo, I believe, has an array of the looks. I believe that these tan-ish jackets with the white shirts and the pants are part of the opening ceremony uniforms. I assume that those are, because I feel like it would be kind of crazy to perform in a blazer, but I don't know. I'm not completely sold on the pants, but again, I don't know if there's some sort of symbol or something in there. I feel like when I'm looking at the Mr. Price Sport banner behind, it seems like there's like a gazelle and some sort of floral, situation going on there. So maybe they are some sort of heritage or cultural motif. So if that's the case, those are cool. I respect them. Maybe the flare at the end, not for me, but like, okay. And as for the tracksuit, I think it's okay. I also like the fact that they are continuing the same motif in the pants from like the opening ceremony element into the tracksuit. I feel like it gives a bit of continuity. Bronze. Next up, we have South Korea. I like them. I like the opening ceremony uniforms. I think they're cool. They're suits, but they do have a little bit of like movement. We can see, funny enough, in the pictures, there is this ability to like perform and to do what you need to do. It looks like we're seeing somebody doing some sort of martial art. We're also seeing somebody in an equestrian sort of gear. So this is kind of the first time I feel like we're seeing opening ceremony uniforms that actually kind of deliver on both looking sort of dressed up and regal, but also able to really get down and dirty in your sport and go for the gold. I think that's cool. I like that element of the photo shoot. I think it's very different and I think it works. Maybe I'm not obsessed with like the belted thing, but like I could get over that. The t-shirt again gives a little bit of ease. I'll take it. And as we can see for the performance tracksuit sort of styles, we have this sort of ombre effect from blue into white. And on the North Face, who is obviously dressing them, there's a black pant and a red little belt situation. I do think that it's cool to see the elements of the flag built in, but again, I don't know. It's not maybe the chic thing. I love the jacket. I really, really do love the jacket. Maybe like an ombre effect on the sweatpants. Could have been cool. Overall, though, I'm going to go silver. Next up, we have Team Spain, who is wearing Jomasport. That's who designed the styles. There are very different styles. It seems there is this red blazer, white shirt, cream pant, and a Jomasport sneaker. For the women's style, it's more of like a track jacket with a polo and then a pleated skirt that ombres from white into yellow into red. It has a matching bag, which again, I like the idea of like the bags. I think they're cool. And the Jomasport sneaker, overall, it's fine. Not really like amazed at it. I don't know if I'm necessarily expecting everybody to show up in like flamenco wear. I'm not. But would I look at this and say, oh, Canada? Possibly. So does it really set aside, make me say Spain? No. So bronze, Team Sri Lanka, they're delivering. I like it. I love the white and the gold. I love the embroidery all throughout these jackets. I love getting to see that there is really this cool element of embroidery being seen across, the spectrum as beautiful and cool and not flowery, but rather it's flashy and something to be proud of. I do think that, I don't want to say skirt because I don't know necessarily if they're skirts, but I do love the sort of draping of the bottoms, these sheath styles, and I like the fact that all of them for the most part, either have little embellishments throughout or there's sort of a piping of the gold embroidery at the bottom. I love the matching shoes, the white matching shoes. Very into that. That's fun. Very cool. And I also like that the subtle differentiation is like, there's a jacquard element to the men's and much more subtle embroidery to the women's, at least like on the sleeve area. So I'm into it. Gold to me. Next up, we have Team Switzerland. They are all wearing On Cloud, which honestly is very smart. White, full white, Switzerland, red, white, the cross thing. The red and the yellow and the blue and the green, like, I understand it. I do think that tank top that sort of asymmetrically ombres is cool. I like the idea of them. I really, really do. I guess I'd want to see the opening ceremony uniform more to see what that kind of vibe is. But as far as tracksuits go, I do think these are probably some of the cooler ones because like the actual design is very different from what we've been seeing. I'm going to give this a silver. Next up, we have Team Thailand. And honestly, I like this. I think the blazer is cool. It's very different from most of the blazers we've been seeing in terms of construction. Like, it's not a double-breasted, it's not a single-breasted, it's more of a, there's buttons, you know, down the placket. I also really like the textile that's sort of piping the cuff and the placket and the collar. I think the design is cool. I'm pretty positive that it's based on like an old heritage Thai sort of textile and or motif from architecture or something along those lines. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I know that it definitely does have provenance in the world of Thai culture and history. So I like that. I don't really love the black pant. I do think that out of all of the blazers, this is one of the more intriguing cuts, considering we just see a lot of normal blazers you can get anywhere. I'm gonna give this a silver. Could have been a bronze because of the black pant, but I'll give it a silver to be nice. I love Team Turkey. Team Turkey, I believe these are some of their opening ceremony uniforms. You have these red and white striped blazers. Love that. That's a way to be memorable. And I like that on the other side, you have this sort of light blue and white striped blazer. I don't know if they're interchangeable between men and women, but either way, I'm really into them. I think they're cool. I think they're something that'll be interesting to look at when it comes to everybody walking with their flags. I also love the little polo underneath. I think that's really quite sweet. And as we move on, I like the tracksuits. Again, they look almost neoprene-y, but I know that they're definitely not. I love the colors. I like this sort of really, really light blue. I think it really helps that red to pop, and then any bursts of white are kind of subtle, but they're there, and again, they really do emphasize this beautiful combination of this light blue and this very vibrant red. I'm gonna give that a gold. Next up, we have Team Ukraine. Now, it looks like there is just a sort of blue and yellow situation going on. It's a yellow blazer, which isn't something we've really seen before, with a yellow polo underneath, and a pair of simple sort of chinos. As for, I can't tell if this is like performance wear or podium wear, but I think it's more podium wear. It's like a yellow cardigan, a yellow tie-y kind of shirt, and then a sporty skirt. I don't know. I don't really love the skirt. I really don't like those like sporty technical fabric skirts. Like, I understand for modesty reasons, that's different conversation, but like otherwise, I don't get it. So I don't mind necessarily the style. It's very like yellow and blue in your face. I feel like it could be a little bit more creative. I know that there are some cool Ukrainian designers out there. I know Ukraine has a lot going on, but cool Ukrainian designers happening. So I don't know. I'm not really like obsessed with it. I'll give it a bronze. And finally, we have the US of A. Ralph Lauren has designed these styles for polo. That's why I'm wearing a little Ralph Lauren polo. I'm not trying to go easy on the US, but like this feels very American as an American. I think it's fine. I don't really think it's super radical per se when it comes to the US. I don't think it's like super fashion. I think it's very commercialism. The blazers are nice. Like, I do think that for the Ralph Lauren collectors of the world, it's probably a good blazer to have. And I do think that the white and the red piping on the navy blue blazer is cool. The jeans, I'm not really sold on the jeans per se, but I don't hate them either. Like, there's certain elements of like denim is fine. And I do think that pairing it with the blazer and the shirt feels very boater to me, very Steamboat Willie. And the white brogue, I get the look. I understand the look. Am I obsessed with it? No, but do I think that it reads very, insert eagle noise here? Absolutely. And then I believe that these are the podium looks. I actually kind of like the jacket. I never wear that jacket ever in my life. I do love the fact that the motifs run all the way through and this sort of flap that hides the zipper doesn't distract us from that. The moto jeans, don't love, don't need, don't think they're great or something that we should bring back right now, Ralph. I appreciate you, but I don't appreciate those. And it does feel a little race car driver jacket. Overall, the US, I'll give it bronze. Not like obsessed. Could be more chic. So that is the end of our video. I would say that I'll do a best and worst, but I'm just going to do a best because I don't really feel like doing a worst. I don't think that's unifying in the Olympic spirit. The best, I'm going to give to Team Mongolia. Really stunned, really obsessed. I completely get why everybody was dying over them. I hope you guys all enjoyed the Olympics this year. I'm going to be watching the gymnastics, the basketball. It'll be fun. So, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, and TTYL.